Welcome back to the 9446 Network. Today we're doing another diecast review, part of the comeback, and yeah, we're starting to get things rolling. Here's the Tyler Reddick 2021 Cheddars Chevrolet, and it is the first Tyler Reddick car that I have for the Cup that is not sponsored by Caterpillar, because Lionel, for some reason, just cannot, and right off the bat, there was a little piece of paper stuck to that thing. Man, that thing took me off track. But what I was saying was that, you know, Lionel Racing doesn't make a lot of Reddick's Cup cars for the 164s, but if you're a 124 collector, you get a ton of these released. But it's a pretty interesting paint scheme, and we'll get into it. This is the croissant car, as you can see. I mean, look at all those. Am I going to even bother counting those for the review? Find out. So, number 8, Reddick Cheddars, Chevrolet Camaro Z01, and of course, the Cheddar Scratch Kitchen, which was established in 1979. Very nice looking little logo right there. And the gradient, once again, kind of funky, as you can see, it's kind of got like lines on it. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that, or if that's how the die casts are wrapped. Sunoco, Goodyear, NASCAR, Cup Series, NASCAR Race Car, Tyler Reddick's name. Number 8 right there, Lucas Oil, Sherwin-Williams, and another sponsor that I cannot read. Red Cap, Osco, Cosmetic, and PTC. Is this thing on the PTC mold? God, I hope not. Pinnacle right there, and that thing is hugging the back of that roof sail right there. Wow, look at that. Look how that decal came out. KMCG, Cheddars, BetMGM, and Caterpillar right there. So there's a close-up of the side right there. And here's the back of this thing. We have the Okuma sponsorship, Cheddars.com, number 8, Chevrolet, the rear view camera, ZL1 Camaro 1LE, Cheddar Scratch Kitchen on the deck lid right there, Tyler Reddick, and we got Cheddars again, number 8. And now it's time for the paint scheme. So for the number on the roof, at least, it has a black outline, a brown outline, and a white number fill-in. While the one on this side has a complete black backdrop to it, as you can see right there, that's got a full black backdrop, whereas this is transparent. Now we get into the interesting stuff. I mean, look at that. You even have gradient. Again, there's a lot of gradient being used on some of these cars. Kind of goes from that dark orange, then to a light orange, and then eventually it changes to the white. I mean, look at the way that looks. I mean, this fades into that white color, as you can see. It goes from that brown to the lightish brown, and it just fades into that white. So that's a really interesting detail right there, and I'm getting better at the camera work with these videos, as you can tell. And of course, this is going to be the side that's interesting. I mean, look at this. This right here is a heck ton of croissants on that card. It's like all the way, and I do like how it wraps from the front all the way over the wheel well, the front wheel wells, and onto the side. I really like that. That's a sharp look. Yeah, it kind of wraps over the Goodyear. I really like that. And that's one of the things I liked when I first seen this car. So the gold colored croissants, I mean, those change color a little bit. You can see dark, and then it goes like another lightish color, and then it changes into the gold, and then it goes back. The thing is, it's just like with the kind of gradient. I mean, you could see solid lines, though. So it must be a different type of gradient that I'm not familiar with seeing. You have the brown outline, and of course it has all this carbon fiber, I believe that is. Looks like carbon fiber to me. Oops. You got the outline to that. And it kind of goes from here, and then all the way across the side, it flares on, and then it just shoots up a little bit. Like, goes from, just swishes up, and then switches back up again. And over to the back, it's all carbon fiber. And it looks like a V. You can see the pattern of where the lines are touching, as you can see. Black spoiler, black splitter. And of course, we're going to take a look at the lines, the solid line gradient. I mean, there's also the bullhorn. As you remember, this is, I think, the bullhorn. And the purpose of this, I believe, for the Chevy teams was to make this window look bigger, like the street car. But of course, they started coloring all this stuff, and it didn't look so great. But for this one, it doesn't look too bad with that lightish goldish color. Now we're going to talk about that solid line gradient. So it's got solid lines, and it kind of shoots up. It's a pretty interesting pattern. It goes up this way, and then it shoots down, and then shoots back up. It's like a V pattern, as you can see. See how that V pattern looks? Kind of shoots down, and then into a V. Solid lines, and all the different shades of that orange. And it kind of looks like a beige brown because of the way it looks. I mean, look at all that That is, it looks like a Lumar car with that. It really does. It really looks like a Lumar paint scheme because, you know, the window film. This here definitely looks like that car, so that's interesting as heck to see. So it goes across the side, the roof sails, and then the side panels of the window, and then it goes all the way down to the back to that brownish color. So pretty interesting. It's like an orangish brown color, as you can tell. That's the best way I can describe it, and it just goes into the back. The American ethanol, of course, is there, like it is on all the cars. And of course, it has the yellow Goodyear, since it's a standard car, because the last review I did was of a throwback car for Kyle Larson. And of course, there's the chassis underneath. And now, that is going to be it for the review, because, I mean, look at the detail on it. I mean, I can go on and on about how detailed this paint scheme is, but we ain't got that time. So, now it's time for the 360 review of this thing. Here's the front of the car, here's the hood, it's the right side, the back, the deck lid, the roof, left side, and the chassis. So that is the car. And one thing I did notice, I waited till the end to bring this up. When this thing was in the Flash Racing Cup race, this is how the chassis was as soon as I took it out of the box. I mean, look how, like, low it is on this side. And look how high it is on this side. Look at all, like, literally, I could stick my fingernail between that. Look at that. That is a wheel arch gap right there. And I don't know, as a custom maker, I don't know how in the world that happens. But for this one, it did. I mean, look at that. You could see, I want to force it down on the cardboard because it's not a solid surface. I mean, you could see, look at that. It's like a Tomica diecast. Remember those cars that they sell in Japan with the working suspension? Look at that. And it doesn't sit right. You can see that. Like, let me see if I can lower this camera a little bit. Look at the way that sits. I have to push down on this to get it to sit right. If you see what I'm saying? Let me see if I can. There you go. Now it's sitting the way it should. I mean, if I do it like that, will it make a difference? Yeah. There you go. Now it's sitting the way it should. But like I said, man, the quality control, man. What's going on with this? I mean, look at that. I literally have to hold it for it to stay down. Like, jeez. What the heck, man? Like, okay. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because this is starting to really piss me off. Anyways, that is going to be the review. I mean, once again, look at that. Look at how the splitter doesn't even line up with the ground. I mean, look at that. This thing is tweaked. This thing either has a broken track bar or a broken suspension. One of those things. I mean, my God. My gosh. Yeah, I better not mess with this no more. So there you go. That is the Tyler Reddick Cheddars 164 for Richard Childress Racing. Not a lot of these Reddick cars out there, so if you don't already have a Reddick car, this is probably the only way. I don't think we're going to get this in Authentics, judging by the way things are going, so yeah, that's really it, man. This has been the 9446 Network's review of the Tyler Reddick Cheddars Chevrolet. See you guys next time. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecast. Here's a new one for this. Make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting the suspension on this diecast. And as soon as I started pointing this out, this thing just snapped. I don't know if you just heard that, but this thing just snapped. What the heck kind of quality is that? I hope nothing broke on this thing. I don't think so. But my God, what the heck, dude? Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, even the parts... Okay, now this is probably turning into a rant review. Look at this. Even the parts inside of the car are starting to move as I fix this. Look at that. Look at this. Something... Okay, I think I noticed something. Something in the roll cage must have been pushing down on the axle. And it was pushing down on it to the point where it was touching the axle. Whoops. As it was pushing down on the axle, and that's why this thing can't really sit straight, because this something in here is loose, as you can see. I knew something was broke on this thing. Look at that. Do you see how that roll cage pole is moving? Look at that. This thing isn't built too sturdy. And that's causing this axle to freaking hang. I mean, look at that. Thing is hanging like, Jesus Christ. Look at that. Like, wow. I mean, my God. Yeah, definitely loving the build quality of this thing. So, that's enough of that, guys. You already saw what you needed to see right there. And did I just fix it? Holy crap, I think I just fixed it. Let me lean this thing down for a second here. I think I just fixed it. Oh, wow, look at that. There you go. I wasn't even trying to fix it. And look at that. It fixed itself. Because, how well does it sit? Is it sitting right now? I think it is. Oh, look at that. I fixed it. There you go. So, now this thing will roll properly now. So, it no longer has a broken track bar. As you can see, it's straighter than it was before. There you go, man. Wasn't even intending for it to be that way in this video. But there it is, man. Cheddars, Tyler Reddick. Just fixed this thing. I wasn't even intending to. And as you saw right there, yeah, Lionel Racing, man, the build quality. I know I was able to fix this. They're lucky I was able to fix this. But if not, Jesus Lord, the quality has to get better, man. So, thank you guys for watching this. And always remember to make sure you know how to put together your die cast.